make sure everything is up and running. Okay. I think we're good. My name is Awakened Cloud. You can call me Awakened, you can call me Cloud. And we are continuing our journey into Tomb Raider. I kind of have a deadline of finishing this game tonight if possible. I do a podcast, and we're actually going to do the podcast episode on this game tomorrow. So I'm going to try to get through it tonight, and we're going to see how far I get. Also playing with a mild cold, so we'll see. We'll see how things go. I might not be talking too much if possible. Load up. There we go. That's right.
More Greek fire vessels. So many of them.
I kind of forgot what I was doing, to be honest.
Got to find a Greek fire vessel first.
Yeah, I even forgot the buttons. It's been about 3 or 4 days since I last played.
More Greek fire vessels. Got to get it across somehow.
You know, I'm probably not going to explore as much as I normally would to expedite the process a little bit of getting through this. Now, let's hope this is right. So, if I can pull this guy across.
There's still more to do here. I'll be back this way. Got to be more Greek fire vessels I can use. Just got to find them.
We're just exploring right now.
Dylan! Dylan! Shit! Morse! Dylan's gone! What? No fucking way! He's right there! He's gone. Something grabbed him. Just us? We gotta keep moving. Stay close.
Whoa, that was a really good jump. Like I said, I have a little bit of a cold. I'm already dead. Ooh. How can I...
Dylan! Dylan! Shit! Morse! Dylan's gone! What? No fucking way! He's right there! He's gone. Something grabbed him. It's just us. We gotta keep moving. Stay close. We got incoming! Up high! Contact!
Well, that wasn't too bad of a fight. Something in this corner? Oh, crap. That would have been bad.
Soldier's flag, to be hung from a spear. This must have belonged to the Prophet's army. Got to find a Greek fire vessel first. There's still more to do here.
Why's it gotta be a Greek fire vessel? Can it be like a Moroccan fire vessel?
Looks like they were always prepared for war. They must have been put into storage here, but these containers are broken.
Head back up this way.
There's still more to do here. I'll be back this way.
Okay. Well, I'll have to go across there eventually. Let me go ahead and at least see what's this way first. If anything.
There's still more to do here.
I've never felt such terror. Tonight, the armies of the Mongol horde camp at the edge of the valley, ready to strike at the heart of Kitesh. We have the alchemist's fire at ready to set the invaders alight. Every man and woman who can wield a weapon will fight. We will do all we can to support the Athanatoi, but I have never seen bloodshed. None of us mere citizens have. I have never taken a life, and now that I must, I fear for my resolve.
This way. Got to be more Greek fire vessels I can use. Just got to find them.
Why? Okay, I was about to say, why
Now
can't I
see.
look at it?
It speaks of something hidden.
Alright, so if we're over here, drop down here, and across here, we can... Well, at least I didn't die. That could have ended in death. Pretty easily.
There's still more to do here. I'll be back this way.
Let's try that again. Anything back here before I go? Don't see anything, so go over here. You know? Did I even need to be up here in the first place? It's probably a really easy puzzle. I'm just not seeing the solution.
Be a way to use the crane to move those vessels.
What am I not seeing with this? There's got to be something super obvious, too. I mean, I could cut it, but that's not going to help. Okay, think. Gotta be something super obvious. Like, I obviously have to attach it to one of these ends. Then how do I get it to, wait a second. I think I get it. Oh. Try something like this, right? Kick this one. Yep. No. Alright, that's 2 out of 3. What skill do we want? That's incredibly frustrating. That is incredibly frustrating. I don't know why OBS has been doing that. Like, for the past 2 weeks, it's just randomly crashed on me. Now, I haven't really changed any settings in OBS either. That's the freaking thing that sucks the most. And I'm having an issue getting the game to come back up. Well, the game's up. The game never crashed or anything, so... I hate when it does this. Rise of the Tomb Raider. There we go.
Looks like I'll need another vessel.
That just looks like debris. Can I just blow it up?
That should clear the way a bit.
Okay, it did. Huh. What I think I'm gonna have to do is open this up, and then when the barrel gets close to here, I'm gonna have to pull it this way. Put the barrel. We should probably run. We should definitely run.
Oh God!
Ooh, that looks painful. I like that. Okay. Go for it. Alright, don't stand next to the exploding barrels. Man, this is where I fought the bear like eons ago.
Jacob.
No, it couldn't
I
be.
made it. I'm out.
Lara, thank God you're all right. Bring the Atlas to me in our observatory in the mountains.
I agree, Murdoch, completely. Pretty
I'm on
much
my way.
anytime I have the option to make a HUD more or less minimal, I do so. Because games have gotten better about it in the past couple of years, but there was an era, like, I'd say 360 to, I'd say mid-late PS4, Xbox One era, where HUDs were just getting ridiculous. But this game does a really good job of only really displaying it contextually, like, so they hide stuff until you absolutely need it. Oh gosh, where am I going? Yes, also, how are you doing today? I am potentially a little bit under the weather. I'm not quite sure. I have this, like, mucusy thing in the back of my throat. It really does. It does work better for third person. It's an immersive type of thing, so it just looks so much better. One of the games that really did it well was the original Dead Space. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but essentially, I think that game didn't have like a HUD, except for it didn't have a HUD, but it did because a lot of the stuff was built into your main character's suit. So like your health bar was on your spine. It was just like this giant green bar. In the map, he had some type of hologram thing in his palm, so he just like push his hand down like this, and you'd see a little indicator where you're supposed to go. Rifle.
Lara! Lara, are you up there?
Jonah, is that you?
Little bird! You're alive! I knew it!
My God. Jonah, what are you doing here? Where are you?
I'm up here in some kind of fortress. You can thank Jacob. His people picked me up half dead out on the tundra.
I can't believe you came after me.
Is that so hard to believe? I told you I got your back. I couldn't leave you out here alone.
I'm on my way up to you now. Don't go anywhere.
Hadn't planned on it.
Don't go anywhere. I'm pretty sure he's going to get gone somehow or another, whether he likes it or not. Normally how those things work out. So Murdoch, I don't know if you were here, but I've already had OBS crash on me once. I do not know what's going on, and it is ticking me off. Like literally maybe 10 minutes into the stream, if that.
Lara, glad to see you're still with us. The invaders are spread all over the valley, but we're pushing back where we can. If you can lend a hand, you're always welcome. We know we can trust you.
Right. We're gonna go this way. Stream like 15 minutes. Yeah, so it's kind of crazy that it happened literally just, I would say, probably about at the 10-minute mark exact. And I don't have any clue what's going on. I know there's an update. I decided not to update because I thought it was fixed and I didn't want to risk the next update breaking things, but I guess I'll have to try the next update and see if it works any better.
Someone else was attacking Trinity in the darkness beneath the cathedral. Could it be the Deathless Ones Sophia spoke on? And if so, what part do they have to play in all of this? I have so many questions.
Sounds like a lot of people are having
But
issues.
for now,
Okay, well,
I'm
that makes
just
me feel a little bit less bad about it.
Jonah's alive. I should have known he'd come looking.
Do I have explosives? Yes, I do. I didn't do the update, and I think mine is working.
Blade's gone, but it's a femur of some sort. Almost certainly human. Perhaps it's some sort of
Yeah, I
ritual
might start being
object.
more selective about hitting the, update button from now on. I've never, in the past, really had too many issues where it backfired on me. But it feels like both.
Jonah!
I don't know if it's OBS or NVIDIA, but both of them are kind of messing up right now.
I was right, Jonah. Dad was right. The divine source is real. I wish he was here to see this.
He'd be proud of you. Sophia told me what you've done for her people.
Lara, it's good to see you, Sophia. Jacob is waiting for you in the observatory.
Yeah, that's 100% fair. Sometimes I just do it to get the pop-up out of my way. I'm like, okay, well, fine. I know it's not going to redirect me to a web browser to update it, so let me just go ahead and hit it. It is what it is. Fortunately, the way it crashed allows me to just Control-Alt-Delete it and open it back up before the stream, like, completely disconnects.
The founders of Kitezh were skilled craftsmen. They used this place to view the Atlas.
Man, the lighting in this game is so good. This is 7-year-old lighting.
Jonah, try those chains.
Got it.
The one after this, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, is actually kind of like considered one of the better benchmarks for PC, so to speak. Like, it was kind of one of the early examples of ray
They
tracing.
must have used this to plan the
So-
construction of the city.
Like ancient blueprints.
Exactly. Everything radiates out from this point. That puts the center of the city under the lake.
Murdoch, what GPU are you running with?
Something's not right.
I've got a 3070 Ti.
The cathedral,
Currently.
where the Atlas was, it's on the wrong side of the map. Keep rotating it. Stop! That's it. Kitezh isn't under the lake. It's under the glacier. The divine source must be there.
How the hell are we gonna get through all that ice?
Alright, that was a pretty big jump in logic.
Wait, this path here leads into the city. The cathedral is there, and the tower on the other side. That means the entrance to Kitezh must be...
6080 XT. Okay, so you got an AMD. I was AMD in, before this 3070. So,
You knew.
you have a Ryzen 959. I have the 5800X. Are you kidding me? Do you know how many guns they have? I'm sorry. It's hard for me to take this cutscene seriously. Are you kidding me? Wait, what?
Lara.
What did I just watch?
We don't have much time. It won't be long before Trinity discovers the
Cool,
location
cool.
of the
That's
source.
pretty much the methodology I normally use. Granted, when I got the 3070 Ti, it was one of those beggars can't be chooser situations.
He
So-
risked his life to come here with me. I almost lost him once. Not again.
Then go. Do what you must.
I was honestly planning on swapping out my 3070 Ti for like a 3080 or, you know, the next generation. Because I figured, oh, well, this is a stopgap. Graphics cards will get easier to come by, and I'm pretty savvy. I can probably get my hands on a 3080 while at MSRP at some point. How naive was I? Jesus. How naive was I?
If Jonah is alive, they
I'll
must
probably
be
never get
holding him
another
in the old
graphics card
Soviet
again at this
gulag.
rate.
I never wanted to go back to that terrible place, but I can't leave him in Trinity's hands now.
Like, imagine trying to get a 4080 or a 4090 when they theoretically come out later this year. Imagine. Imagine.
Jonah, hold on. Sophia, are you there?
Lara! Are you all right?
I'm up by the old copper mill overlooking the gulag. I'm about to go in after Jonah.
I know the spot. We hid a stash of weapons near where we first attacked Trinity. You might find them useful.
Thank you, Sophia. I'll see you when I get out.
Man, you'd like to think so, but then demand has gone up so much, especially with people, one, working from home, two, there's just like a lot more gamers than there were before. Especially like a lot more enthusiast gamers. That's the thing that's kind of messing things up. Along with crypto and all that other stuff. And, you know, hopefully, I shouldn't say hopefully, but like if that market dies down, maybe we'll get some relief in the gaming side of things, but who knows? Who knows? Yes, that's the other thing. Like, everybody knows, like, hey, this is a valuable item that I can get a very easy markup on, and even if it's, like, not the 2 to 3 times markup you used to get, if you could still make $100, why not do it? Like, I hate saying it like that. Like, I'm not gonna do it. I hate scalpers. I hate scalpers with a passion. But, like, the logical side of things, it's like, well, if I can just buy this thing and then immediately sell it for $200 profit, $300 profit, why wouldn't you, you know? Okay, hold RT until fully charged before firing. Yes, they can also trick people into thinking there's a scarcity. They can inflate the MSRP with the next generation. So even though, like, let's say supply and demand evens out and you're like, you have that availability, they put it at a, you know, like a price where, let's say the 4080 launches at $1,200 and there's enough people to buy it at that price. Because people have already proven they're willing to pay top dollar for a card like that.
More propaganda.
Also, I was talking to my buddy who's really, really smart about, like, the financial situation. Like, he literally has his own finance company and he follows, like, markets and knows a lot about a lot, to say the least. All this stuff with Russia, apparently they produce a lot of the silicon that goes into the cars and whatnot. So just this current situation, like, you know, in like a lot of ways, it's the least of our problems right now, but it will also make that worse. So, yep. Yeah, neither did I. I thought all the silicon actually, I don't know why I thought it either came from like China or somewhere in like Asia versus like Russia. But he was like, no, there's actually a really big part that I guess gets sourced out there. But like I said, it's kind of like, it's a problem, but in the grand scheme of things, what isn't a problem right now with Russia? You know? And just the economy and scarcity, all that jazz. Not like the consumer side, it's a big deal. But yeah, no, yes, exactly. Well, I mean, it's like, it is a kind of decent thing for the consumer side because, you know, cars use the chips. Obviously, like video games and other technology use the chips, phone use chips. But I was just saying, like, I feel bad complaining about that part of the Russia invasion stuff when there's actually like the human side of the Russia invasion stuff. So, like, yeah, it all adds up. It definitely all adds up. Like, I saw a really good post on Facebook, and it's like, people are complaining about gas prices when other people's cities are just getting blown to bits along with their families and stuff, and it's very true. And I'm lucky enough that I make enough, so if gas goes up $2 or $3, it's not, I'm not even gonna say it's gonna hurt me. It's gonna bother me, but it's not gonna hurt me.
I'll make them see that you were right all along, that you sought the truth, not fairy tales. I'll make it right, Dad. I promise.
Lara, it's time. Jonah's waiting.
You know, this game is kind of like a reverse Wolfenstein where Laura, she idolizes her father, and turns out her mother, or I guess not her birth mother, but her stepmom is kind of evil in a lot of ways, and kind of a piece of trash, and kind of like the main antagonist of this game in a lot of regards. So it's just a very interesting dynamic right there. I work from home, so I don't have to use much gas, but California gas prices are already like $5. Ooh. Yeah, I was very curious what our gas prices were going to be like. I filled up 2 days ago and it was $3.80, but that was before Biden announced, like, hey, we're not going to help them at all, or we're not going to get any resources from Russia at all as far as gas goes. But my friend was also explaining, like, I guess from a logistics standpoint, we actually don't, like the US specifically doesn't get much gas from Russia as it is, which I thought was super interesting. Because we have our own, you know, oil producers over here. You can't remember the last time you saw it under 4? Oh man, we were at 2 something probably at the beginning of the year, like 270. But yeah, my friend said he's thinking that we might open up that Keystone pipeline, and I'm like, wasn't that the really controversial one that, like, a lot of people fought really hard to have closed? He's like, yeah, but I mean, push come to shove. So
Jonah must be up there somewhere.
Extraordinary. The divine source. It's in the center of the old city.
So yeah,
Everything
expect if that does happen, expect a lot of controversy.
I will notify the
And I mean, I can see both
prepare
sides of that one.
transports.
That's a tough position for Biden to be in.
Our men encountered the Deathless Ones in the archive. This will not be easy, brother.
The holy path is not meant to be easy.
Are the men aware of what they will face?
No. But they are prepared to fight and to die for the cause. That's all we need from them.
Constantine, now that we're so close to the end,
We've only just begun.
I don't know if you've played
I'm
played
afraid
Resident
Trinity is
Evil,
just using us.
but this guy just reminds me of
What
like
if they don't
fake
intend to let you
Wesker,
keep the source? We should prepare.
No.
just like a dollar
You
store
must have
Wesker.
faith. I wasn't chosen by Trinity. Once the source is mine, it won't matter what they want. I will lead God's immortal army. And you
Only played RE2.
shall live.
That's a good one though. I only played RE2 remake and not the original, but I had fun with that game. That was a really good game. And they're actually updating Remake 2, Remake 3, and 7, I think.
Constantine, the prisoner is awake and ready for questioning.
So they're gonna have like free updates with ray tracing and 4K and stuff. Feel a little bad doing that to that squirrel, but there's got to be something over there, right? It's just too innocent. Why is there just a single platform with a tree out here? I guess that really is it. Speaking of Wolfenstein, I got to the part where you ride one of the robot fire. Oh, man. I don't even remember that, to be perfect. Like, so much of that game is a blur. Like, I will just name all the things I remember about that game aside from not being a huge fan of it. I remember the Sunday Nazi, like the ice cream Sunday Nazi. I remembered the courtroom scene, the actual fight there, and having a really hard time. You did a really good job of getting through there really fast. The beheading thing, obviously, the sex scene, and the ending, which I'm not gonna say. So yeah, my memory is very selective about that game.
Tracks. Everywhere.
Itchy trigger
finger,
sorry.
And they murdered that deer dead. Yeah, that
Everything looks clear.
that game is very interesting.
Expecting company?
I wonder why they did such a tonal shift.
Man wants everyone on
Maybe
high
they just
alert.
thought they didn't have enough of an identity with the
Still know something.
you know, New Order or whatever it's called. Oh, okay. Did not expect you to turn around, good sir. Oh, do not dodge into the explosive barrels. I know better than that. I've been playing games for a while. All right.
Fire in the hole.
Crap, I suck. How did I miss that shot?
No, wrong way.
Exactly, and maybe that's what I was trying to say the other day. Like, it wasn't specifically like the fat shaming that I had a problem with, but maybe it's just having the game that's anti-Nazi also be like a super big joke game. It could more or less be Borderlands. all things considered. And maybe that's what rubbed me the wrong way. It's like Wolfenstein meets BioShock, but not nearly as good either. See, I think BioShock doesn't have anything that great. Like, BioShock has some funny moments. I mean, BioShock's horror, like, its comedy is mostly subtle until Infinite, where that one does get a little ridiculous, but even then, it's like, I don't know. I can't think of the tonal equivalent. It's not Borderlands. It's not quite as crazy as Borderlands, but it's getting there.
Everything's falling apart in this place. Should we call it in? Don't bother. Everyone's packing up and getting ready to move out. Good. We finally get what we came for? Hard to say. Constantine just gave a general order to prepare.
Yet again, let me reload this checkpoint. That was just... I assume once I jumped, it was going to give me the prompt.
Truck was too heavy.
That was not the case.
Everything's falling apart in this place. Should we call it in? Don't bother. Everyone's packing up and getting ready to move out. Good. We finally get what we came for? Hard to say. Constantine just gave a general order to prepare.
Alright, let's see. How are we doing this? He actually has some armor, so I can't just kill him super easy.
This is
your what I can do.
Trinity? No. I was sent to help clean up the island after Croft escaped. Tough job. Heard you. We got it! Got company!
Okay, we can move, we can move, we can move, we can move, we can move.
Throwing a grenade!
Oh god, that was actually a better throw than I expected.
Just you and me.
It really surprised me because New Order was awesome and kind of grounded given the present. Yeah. You know, one thing I will say in regards to, I can't even remember what Wolfenstein 2 is called, to be honest, but I will say Wolfenstein 2 is the more memorable of the two. I didn't like it more, but it definitely was at least more than another shooter. Whereas Wolfenstein, I thought played really well, but it also, like, I don't know. I could not tell you one thing about Wolfenstein 1. So in that regard, I kind of do respect Wolfenstein 2 a little bit. And that's some, like, I would probably give the original Wolfenstein like an 8, 8.5, which is pretty good for me. Though that's not to say it's a bad game, that's just I don't remember anything about it because it just... That era had so many shooters, you know?
Bridge collapsed. Looks like we're gonna have to fly out the rest of the cargo.
Hope they found something up there. I'm getting sick of this place.
Patience. If we succeed here, we can go wherever the hell we want.
So, the attack on the observatory was a success?
Yeah, we got the Atlas. They took it up to the weather station.
Why there?
Not sure. I heard some chatter over the top.
We got incoming!
Anybody else? There's gotta be somebody because the music hasn't stopped. Most obvious giveaway ever. Bulbs. somebody saw me. Ow! Oh, okay. Okay. Pop your head out. Ooh, okay, that was a bad place to drop. Super bad place to drop. I liked it better than the Doom reboot. But I think, yeah, I really love Doom 2016, so. But I definitely get that Doom 2016 wasn't everybody's piece of cake. It is a very mechanic-heavy game, and if you don't like that, like, loop of, hey, well, I'm going to use all my ammos, and then I'm going to have to melee to get the ammo back, and then I'm going to have to do this. And then, I don't know if you played Eternal, but Eternal, like, quadruples down on that whole thing, where they add, like, 3 different mechanics. And it's like, oh, well, I got to use all of these to play effectively. Thought it got really boring after. Okay. Out of curiosity, which difficulty did you play on? Because that was one where I was told specifically, like, hey, play this on kind of like. I played it on Ultra Violence, I think. And it kept me really engaged at that mode. Because, yeah, you couldn't get out of anything for free for sure. Don't recall. I got you. Ooh, okay. There we go. Ooh. Are we gonna get level 4 German? Or
an old Soviet plaque.
oh, we're about to get that level 3 Russian. Let's go. Yeah. If you didn't know by now, you become more proficient at languages by reading little signs here and there in this game. That said, I did like it. Yeah, I can see it. Like,
Anna must be close.
From last gen, I would say. And this is just speaking, I guess, on a pure single-player perspective of things. My favorite shooters were Titanfall 2 for the campaign, Doom Eternal, and then it would be hard for me to even think of a third, to be honest, as far as campaigns go. I remember liking the original Destiny 2 campaign before it got updated, like the one they launched with. I thought that was pretty good, but they changed that so much and I stopped liking it as much. Fire arrows, poison cloud arrows, or explosive arrows. Go with the explosive. Might give it a 7, maybe 7.5. Might do 2. Oh my god. I keep telling myself I'm gonna do Titanfall 2 because that is literally, like, I don't want you to think I'm being hyperbolic, but it is my favorite first-person shooter campaign of all time. Like, no questions even asked. It is that good. It is that good. It is so good. It is so much better than it has any right to be. Like, some of the stuff they do, I just don't even understand to this day how they did it. Okay. Need to do some upgrade. Reload speed, faster firing. Increased rate of fire. Why the heck not? Destiny 2 campaign was really solid. I only played the OG version though. Yeah, I played OG, and then I think I had to do it again for the Beyond Light or whatever it was called. I just don't remember liking it as much.
It's a stamp to seal official Trinity letters. Not many people still use these.
Yes, it does. It includes all of those. Like, I played all the BioShocks, all the Halos. Like, I will say BioShock is a little bit of a different beast, just because it's more of like, it is FP. I wouldn't call BioShock an FPS. It's a immersive sim that is also first person. That being said, I did like Titanfall 2 more than BioShock. I'm also a weirdo that probably liked BioShock 2 more than BioShock 1, all things considered. Like, it's very close for me. Combat Evolved would definitely be up there, though. That is definitely in my top 5 first-person shooter campaigns. It'd probably be that. I'd say OG Modern Warfare is really good, too. Yeah.
Were you with Constantine down in Syria?
Yeah.
Spec Ops: The Line, I don't know if you've ever played that, but that one's a really great one.
Expect to find her in there.
Oh wow, there's a lot of people here.
Hold a tube down on our heads.
Thorn in his side, that one.
Speaking of
BioShock 2, while I still like it, was at least a full grade below 1 for me. Okay.
not anymore.
Minerva's Den, the DLC, was really, really exceptional. Don't know if you ever had a chance to play it.
Time. Let us hear, right?
Think Trinity was trying to recruit her?
It's not our place to speculate. Orders are
Gonna head out with
We
the
see
others.
her.
How are we gonna
Not
do
yet,
this?
Hill.
I
Just
think I'm
keep your
gonna
eyes
blow
open.
these people up.
Do your
Oh, I shot it through his legs. Are you kidding me? The question is, do they know where I am? I missed a lot of those shots right there. Oh, you don't know about Spec. Oh, man. You might just want to play that one ahead of Titanfall 2 for the experience, because how do I explain Spec Ops without saying too much about Spec Ops? Spec Ops is a game... man. It deals with the Iraq War, or at least something very adjacent to the Iraq War, and it actually deals with like a lot of emotional stuff and PTSD and a lot of just meta narrative elements. I think the phrase that I remember reviewers using a lot is, was it oh my gosh, I keep wanting to say pseudo-narrative dissonance, but I feel like it might be something else. I know dissonance is the second word. Yes, it is on Steam. Spec Ops: The Line. Voice, let's see. Voiced by Nolan North of Uncharted fame, if I recall. And that one's like a really short game, all things considered. I think it might be about 7-8 hours, so that's probably like a 2-stream game for you. It just does so much interesting stuff. Ludonarrative dissonance, that's what I was trying to think of. But yeah, it is definitely one of the better stories for a first-person shooter. The gunplay is good, like it's perfectly serviceable, and I think the like combat scenarios they put you in are pretty good, and they do some pretty clever stuff in it. But the main draw of that game is definitely the narrative, the characters. Just, it is a thinking man's type of game, which I am all about that. We actually played it maybe like a year, 2 years ago for the podcast I'm on, and pretty much everybody liked it.
Pendant.
So
No. A modern reliquary. There's a small human bone inside.
why is there a human bone inside this pendant?
Saint Peregrine, patron of the terminally ill.
So if it doesn't spoil too much, Duck, do you have anything lined up specifically after Wolfenstein?
We stand now on the very cusp of a new world.
Oh, you are right. It is a third-person shooter.
Located. Croft, while still alive, has been effectively neutralized.
Forgot about that.
But Anna grows weaker by the hour.
So technically, it's out of the running for best FPS campaign.
That voice I've known my whole life is starting to falter. I asked her if she remembers that night. The first night that God carved purpose into my hands. The night that he chose me. She said she did. And then she smiled and said that we would have nights again like that. Once this ordeal is over. For her, I stay strong. In the old city, we will find the divine source. I will save my sister. And together, we will save this world from itself.
Witcher 3 or Titanfall. Both of those are really good choices. I will say Witcher is a very long game if you choose to partake in the side quests like I did. Like, normally I'm not the guy that goes out and does like a lot of side quests, but I think Witcher 3 might be the most hours I have played on a game on Steam. I think I'm at like 120 hours in that game, which is pretty rare for me. Pretty rare, because, I mean, you know me, I jump game to game and try to get as many experiences in as possible, but that one just spoke to me in a certain way. Might sprinkle in some Arceus. That would be fun to watch too.
A rifle shell. But there's something unusual about this one.
What's unusual?
Latin engraving on the end. Kill them all. God will know his own.
Yeah, so after this one, I have a couple things planned. There's, oh my gosh. Honestly, I really wanted to play Metroid Prime on stream. That's like our March podcast game, but these podcast games are already taking up so much of my time, and just being limited to playing them only on stream is kind of like a hassle. So I decided not to do that one on stream. So I'm either going to replace this game with, there's a game called Chorus, which is like a Star Fox flight simulator game that just came out for like the PS5 and PC. I also need to get to Ratchet. There's also an indie game called Death's Door that I've been looking at, so it's between one of those three. I don't know how, like, I don't know, I'd hate saying streamable the Chorus game is, but like, sometimes those games that are just like, oh, well, I'm flying in space and it doesn't really have a story for you to follow, aren't exactly like the most engaging for the audience and whatnot. Not that I really, I hate to say it, but not that I really care about, you know, what the audience wants or doesn't want, but at the same time, I try to be a little considerate with the games I choose, and, you know, well, can they at least talk about it with me?
I won't die in this godforsaken valley. My faith is strong. My will is strong. Even if my mind keeps wandering away. In our youth, Constantine and I in our youth, he was a difficult child. Always wondering, always questioning, afraid of what the future might hold. Afraid that he might never find his purpose. The night I cut those marks into his hand, the night I whispered into his ear, I made him. I saved him. He believed it to be the work of God.
That's why I stopped doing FF14 and Back for
hoped.
Blood on stream. That makes sense.
Now I need him to save me.
Like, I feel like Back for
And
Blood
if in the end he can't,
would mostly work if
then
you
I'll
had
save
people
myself.
play it with you. Kind of like how Spaghetti will do Destiny 2 with friends and stuff like that. I could see Back for Blood being fun in that context. But at the same time, like, it's a fun game, but I don't know. You know, it's one of those things where it's very easy to just kind of zone out if somebody else was playing it, I guess. Not that, you know, pretty much any game's easy to zone out if you're not really engaged with it, but...
Lara! 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 Answer me. Last time I saw you, you were... Damn it, Lara. You better not be dead. After the avalanche, I got one little blip, one brief echo. But I'll be damned if it wasn't your voice. I know I heard it. I know you survived. At least the avalanche. I haven't heard a peep since, but I'll keep trying. I know you told me to leave, to get somewhere safe, but... Did you really expect me to leave you here? Come on. You should know me better than that.
You're right. If you have, like, the right people for it, and they're also, I guess, engaging. So it might even be better if you did, like, 2 people Back for Blood, and then just had 2 AIs, or, I guess, 2 other cooperative people where you just don't have them on mic. And it's also a lot of technical work. Enter the prison block. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I wanted to stream It Takes Two with a buddy of mine, but I just got busy. And he's having a kid in a couple months, so I kind of feel bad asking him to do it now.
On to the next phase of the operation. Just get prepped. Over there.
Oh crap, he saw me. But honestly, I'm not much of a co-op person in the first place. Although I really do want to play that game eventually. It Takes Two. From what I heard, like, it goes on for entirely too long, but I do respect, like, all the variety it has. And I've watched a couple people play, like, bits and pieces of it, and it's just like, wow, this game has so many different mechanics, and everything looks very polished. No. Are you kidding me? Alright, this is a little janky right here. This game overall is a little bit more janky than I remember. Like, I really like this game a lot, but I have to admit, like, some parts of it didn't age quite as well as I thought they did. The shooting mechanic in specific feels a little off.
Your loyalty to her is strong. I admire you. I do. But even my patience has limits. Tell me what you know. Now!
This guy's getting incredibly lucky. He's taking out like 5 people without a gun.
I was only doing what I believed was right.
Now his good-hearted nature is gonna take... Yep. Knew that was gonna happen.
Sweep the cell blocks. Kill everyone.
Let me look it up. Clancy Brown.
Sorry. I should have killed him. But he was unarmed, I just couldn't.
Shh. You shouldn't have to. I am so sorry for getting you into this mess.
All right, I think you're right.
They're coming. We're surrounded.
This time I've got your back.
He's dying. We don't have much time.
Oh wait, it's Charles Halford, which is funny because I swore the whole game it was Clancy Brown. Let's see. A lot of people apparently made that mistake though. You're not the first to think it was Clancy Brown. He doesn't mean Clancy Brown apparently.
We're almost in position.
I know that you like to read the archaeological journals now, but I urge you that if you see anything written which is less than pleasant about me, to ignore it. There are those who simply do not understand the work I'm doing here. Perhaps they're even frightened by it, but their fear and stupidity is not my concern, and neither should it be yours.
Is this Dad?
I will explain everything in good time, my darling girl.
The people that were frightened. Were they
No problem,
Trinity?
Duck. No problem, Duck. Thank you for hanging out.
I guess it doesn't matter now anyway. They found their way to me. Now I'm going to have to deal with them.
Much love and respect, my man.
Not seeing the target yet. Waiting for orders.
Stay in position. Get ready, she's dangerous.
Roger.
Command, we are in position and have visual on target.
Got to take them out.
Confirmed. Target acquired.
Seems bad. Wow, this looks good. Ouch. Or you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going.
We have visual on the target. I repeat, we have visual on the target.
Damn it!
Take care of this one.
Confirmed heat sink. Ready to engage.
Roger.
Throwing a grenade.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. Alright, who do I get to pull into the water first?
Got to do this carefully.
Can't be more careful than that. So hard because the second you come up, they can pretty much find you instantly. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do here. I might just fight. I'm getting annoyed by this. I need to heal real bad. First of all.
Holding position.
Just wait.
Get ready.
Let them come to you.
You and me. I'm in a fight. Gonna lose her. Open up. He's dead. I got an angle. You got it. Does anyone have a visual?
We're gonna reload the checkpoint. This is just not going in my favor.
What happened? She just disappeared.
Surrounded. Carefully.
She's flanked.
Just wait.
Oh wow, I'm getting torn up.
Shit. Lost one. Keep it up.
Well, I got like a quadruple kill right there, so that helped.
Cover me.
I can probably brute force it, to be honest, at this point. I need to get up and heal ASAP, even if it's risky. Well, maybe not that risky.
Dr. Jonah. Oh God, no. Jonah. Jonah.
Laura.
I'm here.
Laura. Listen to me.
Try not to move.
If I don't make it out of here...
Don't talk like that.
No, just listen. You can't blame yourself anymore. We all make our own choices.
His end is near.
No, he can't die.
We can help him.
How?
We must get him to the observatory, to Jacob.
How exactly are they going to revive this man?
Only Jacob can save Jonah now. We have to get him back to the observatory. Jacob, he's dying.
Let me attend to him. The Lord is your guardian, your protective shade at your right hand. The sun shall not harm you by day, nor moon by night. The Lord guard your soul from all evil. The Lord guard your going and coming, from now to all time.
What? This man's a magician?
Wound. Prepare him.
You're not even gonna
Jacob, you were
ask
shot.
about that?
You are him, aren't you? The Deathless Prophet.
I can feel pain. I can be hurt. I am human. Save for a human ending.
And the Divine Source?
Something I found long ago. It is real and deeply powerful. But it is not divine.
So you've lied to them for generations.
I'm not proud of it. But I did it to protect them. I once used the Source to grant my armies their long lives. But it was a terrible mistake.
The ones I saw in the archive.
When enemies attacked Katesh, the Deathless Ones brought the ice from the mountain down upon the city. Thousands were killed. But they committed an atrocity to keep the power. And so will Trinity. But on a much larger scale.
That's not you. The man I've come to know would never harm his people.
Don't you see? All of this is my doing. And it must finally come to an end.
Father! They're on the move.
They're going to brute force their way into the ice.
Then we've already lost. No. There has to be a way to stop them. Jacob, the map showed a secret
I think we're
entrance into
at the
city.
final act here.
Path of the Deathless. But it's too dangerous.
We're running out of time. You know I can't give up now.
If we can delay Trinity, that might just give us a chance.
I will take our forces and attack them on the ice.
Then it's time. Open the path.
Wait, what?
When you're ready.
I cannot roll my eyes any harder at this game.
I will do what I can for your friend.
Wrong type of arrow. Oops. Crap. Well, I had an idea. Did not work out in my favor. Through. Let's do 4. See if we can jump across this time. Are you kidding me? There we go. New base camp discovered. Did I just run right past it? Apparently so.
I just have to catch my breath for a moment. This place, Kitezh, Jacob, the Deathless Ones. I've been running so fast for so long, I haven't stopped to acknowledge the simple fact that all of this is real. Part of me can't believe it. But I know Jacob was telling the truth. Whatever made him is here, and I'm going to find it before Trinity. I only wish Dad was alive to share in this discovery.
Treasure? What could this be?
Amazing. Jacob, I'm heading in. What will I find down here?
My people haven't been down there since we sealed it off, centuries ago. But it should be safe, at least until you make it past the orrery.
Was it part of the observatory?
It was built by my astronomers, before the Deathless buried the old city. You'll need to use it to open the entrance to Kitezh.
I need to use what? Okay. It's very Uncharted-like right here. I see. Or do I see? It seemed like a weird angle, but I thought I might be able to pull it off. Are you kidding me? That was the right move, it just didn't connect. Oh well. There we go. Guess I did it early last time. I should have just jumped. I should have just jumped. Keep it simple. Are you kidding me? So this puzzle's a little janky. Should have just kept it simple. Okay, what am I even doing? Guess I can pull this side in too, but what am I doing? Question remains. That wasn't even a puzzle.
People were ahead of their time.
Alright, so what am I trying to do here? If I climb up here, I could potentially get over there.
Patience, Lara. Now!
It said now. Like, I waited a couple seconds because I didn't think it would matter. Oh. Yeah. This segment doesn't feel great. I like the idea of it. There's just some stuff mechanically that's A little bit more clumsy than it probably should be.
Patience, Lara. Now!
Okay, I have to go down there, I guess? Yeah. Or do I go down there? I don't know. I don't think I can jump up that high, so that's kind of off the table. Now I think I can get to there from here. Pretty good. Ooh. Another one of these special secrets.
A codex. This one speaks of the advanced archery skills developed in Byzantium.
Classically trained. Number of arrows that can be rapidly shot without redrawing from quiver to 3. Okay. Are you kidding me? Down. There. What a weird place to make me double back to. That was close. That was super close.
The old city's close.
Lara, we're on the mountain above the glacier.
Can you see Trinity?
Yes, they're beginning their operation.
I'm entering the old city now. Listen, Sophia, don't attack them too soon.
We'll give it some time. I'll contact you again soon.
Good. I always get a little anxious with the ice because I'm never positive if it's good ice or no such thing as good ice, but you get what I'm saying. Can't be much longer from here. That might be the end of the game right there.
So many of them.
I leave these notes for whoever should follow in my footsteps. My wounds are worse than I believed. They will not heal. Tonight I will make one last attempt to escape this frozen tomb, but I doubt I have the strength. The divine source is here, at the peak of the tallest tower, but it is beyond my reach. With the source at his disposal, the Prophet's deathless ones are unstoppable. An army of wraiths and devils that can never die. A mockery of all God's creation. They are no longer human, and they will break any army that stands in their way. With every death and rebirth, they learn. They adapt. Should Trinity someday find a way to seize it for ourselves, I fear that we will do no better. Perhaps it would be best if it were to remain lost forever.
You don't say. This zombie thing that you got going on, not the best idea? You sure? How do you not see that hand, bro? Hit him. Oh. Okay. This is all bad. This is all bad. This is all bad. You kidding me about these misses? I saw him around this corner. Oh, come on. That was a headshot. Kidding me? What? Where? Oh. Right here. Whoever did that, I'm going to murder you so bad. Second. Why can't I craft any arrows? Wow, they both hit me. That looked kind of cool, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even too upset about that one. We're gonna rush through here. Okay. You guys want to do some gladiatorial combat? I respect that. I hope you respect these arrows. Oh, are you kidding me?
Trinity has twice before sent great men seeking the Prophet's path, and twice before they have vanished. He carried the divine source out of the Empire, but it was not his to take. That blasphemy taints everything while his descendants still live. So Trinity must try again. I have done ungodly things, committed terrible sins against the innocent, just to reach this place, to retrieve the divine source. I know God will forgive for what I do. I do for the greater good. Now the end is in sight. I need only survive this final battle, and Trinity's work will be done.
This is particularly odd. Has elements of Scythian design, but it looks like a... No, not possible.
Alright. Sneak up here real quick.
General, we observed something strange in the night. We are camped above the city of Kitezh as the city prepares for invasion. They still believe the attack will come from on high. They will not expect your charge from the paths on the far side of the valley. But I must tell you, on the tower at the heart of the city, something unnatural awaits us. We watched hundreds of armored soldiers ascend its heights, and then a light cracked the sky. There was a sound that froze my blood, a roaring like an army of hungry ghosts. Then the men descended again. I do not know what they keep atop that tower. We thought it a treasure, but it appears to be something else entirely.
Find a way into the lost city of Kitezh. The lost city, here we are.
Lara! They're going to break through the ice any minute.
Do you think you can stop them?
The best we can do is buy you some time.
Look at those toes.
I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it.
The Chamber of Souls. The divine source has to be there.
I remember there being like 4 towers I have to activate or something.
Through that gate.
I have failed. There will be no pardon for my sins. I have drenched my hands in blood in pursuit of the Prophet, and now there is nothing left. As the attack became a siege, the Prophet's people did the unthinkable. They turned their weapons against the glaciers and buried their own city. Mongol and the Prophet's people alike were crushed in the ice. The Khan and his warrior horde are dead. The people of Kitezh are broken and scattered. I alone survive in the frozen heart of the city, and my only companions are the deathless army of the Prophet, their eyes aflame with unholy light. Even now, they hunt the ruins for survivors.
I don't know what I expected an immortal being to be like, but Jacob seems so human. The things he must have seen over the years, All that experience and knowledge. It's difficult to fathom. And yet, he lied to his own people for generations, all for the sake of this secret. What wonders will be unlocked with the Divine Source? Will humans finally understand the true nature of the soul? Or will it unlock some extraordinary new scientific discovery? One thing is certain. It's too important to allow Trinity to control.
Alright. I think that was our last little bonfire chat. Yeah, I gotta light those things, I think. What? Excuse me? That was really weird.
Deathliss are patrolling the streets. Got to stay out of sight. Incredible. The style looks ancient, but it depicts a train. The coming of the Soviets.
What am I trying to do? Just get over there? I remember spending a lot of time in this area, but... Yep. This seems more like what I remember.
Shit, they're firing at me. Maybe I can use them to break through that gate. There's a piece of flint in the pouch. It's a striker to start a fire. Each Mongol soldier had to be self-sufficient.
Ouch! Where's this trebuchet? Are you kidding me? Through this. I'm gonna run them past here. My computer's getting very framey, which is a bad sign. Alright, trebuchet is right up there. Where am I even going? Holy crap, where am I even going? Well, that didn't like I expected. Also got disconnected from my chat, always a good sign. You didn't have to throw stuff at me. Don't die here. Don't die here. Cool.
Got to break down that gate. Like I can line up a shot on that gate.
I want to blow up the smokestack things first, because I feel like there's some type of challenge or achievement or whatever for it.
Like I can aim this thing. Maybe I can hit that gate.
2. Allegedly, there's 5. Okay, I see.
Now to fire.
Okay, I see all 5. How in the world would you get that one all the way back there? Oh, there's another one. See it. There's another catapult. Okay. One gate down, one to go. I think one to go. If we're lucky, one to go.
That did it.
before I even held you, I almost lost you, Lara. Yet you fought back, determined to live, breathe, ball your tiny fists and scream the hospital down. It was the best noise I ever heard. When I went home that snowy night, I cooked myself a steak. Then I drank half a bottle of whiskey, tried to make snowshoes out of tennis rackets, and fell asleep with the cat. I was so damn happy.
I think I must have heard that story about a dozen times, and I could hear it a dozen more. I wish that could have lasted. I wish we'd had more time.
Okay. Going up here.
There's been some structural damage. The battle certainly took its toll. But most of the city...
Armor-piercing arrows. Do my just regular default arrows do that? Pretty cool, so. Why is my aim so bad? Excuse me? Why are all these things running at me at once? Come on, I know I'm hitting these headshots.
Almost there. The Chamber of Souls is through that gate. Just need to find another trebuchet.
Oh man.
You don't have much time, Lara. You must reach the source before them.
Laura, you don't really need the glow stick right now. Not gonna lie.
Get somewhere safe.
A little weird.
Not a chance. You need us as much as we need you. We survive together or we die alone. Now go.
Also, if anybody's in chat, I apologize because apparently I got disconnected from chat and I'm not quite sure if it ever reconnected. So I'm just gonna go under the assumption I haven't gotten a message in a little bit. And hopefully that's the case for once. That was easy. Okay, good. Good recovery, Laura. Okay. So, it's nice that they didn't make it a big ordeal getting up to the second trebuchet. I'll worry about that in a second. Priorities. Priorities.
I can still rotate the trebuchet. Maybe that will help me to get over there. Something's in the way. Got to be a way to clear it.
And the most obvious puzzle of 2022. Right here. I don't know if I should... There's no point in me doing that, actually. If I just pull right here...
I'm not strong enough.
Okay. Well, I guess I can do this. Attach that, and then I just pull it.
That worked. Now to take out that gate.
So I've hit it more than once. Oh god. That's a problem.
Almost through. Just one more shot.
I really have to get over there. Oh, they couldn't just make it easy. here. No! Are you kidding me? Why? She should have been able to make that jump easily. Are you kidding me? Okay, so I gotta break the ice off. Can't I just use it like an explosive arrow or something, maybe? Are you... Why did it fall down here like that? Ugh.
The Mongol armies must have been completely buried in the ice before they can invade the main city. The siege of Kitezh must have lasted for months.
No. Okay. All I should have to do is jump down here.
Just a bit higher.
Just a bit higher.
There must be something I can use to balance the crane on.
Looks like I need to go over there somehow, but I'm kind of drawing a blank how to get over there. Like, I could try the jump, but then I fall to my death if I mess it up. On the other hand, I could approach it from the other way and walk up from over here. Yeah. Let's try that.
This should balance the arm.
Can I kick it?
Just a bit higher. Just a bit higher.
This way. All right, we're good to go.
It's not holding water.
Do I have to find water for it too? Are you
Just a bit higher.
kidding me? All I gotta do for it to get water is go to this side, over here, and pull it this way. Oh, what's that about? Are you kidding me? Get the water. There. Pull this guy back over this way. Alright, this should be it. I'm gonna be kind of upset if it's not. Kind of a big jump.
Too high.
Well, the problem is... I'm gonna have to empty some of that water, but I don't really know how. That good? This is such a specific puzzle. I definitely got rid of some of the water.
Yes, that did it.
Let's go up here.
Archers. Got to take them out. Just have to aim this thing.
I missed? Are you kidding me?
Got you! That's the body of the pack.
That's a perfect hit. We just got the two idiots over here. The last thing we've got is destroy the gates. Finally! I should have known it wasn't going to be that easy.
The way is clear.
Oh, well, we got to the second trebuchet without any, real conflict. Oh, this will be easy. Oh, they destroyed the second trebuchet. Oh, there's a third trebuchet behind me. Oh, there's a puzzle involved. It's alright, we're at endgame now. Okay, just my gosh. Stop messing up. I'm just going. I'm gonna quickly check to see if... Okay. It looks like everything is working. I just want to make sure. Come on, a little bit faster, Laura. Oh, oops. Can't go any further that way. That didn't work out. This is it right here. I can already tell. Get up here. Crap, are you kidding me? Huh. So you can shoot an arrow while standing on another arrow. Before it acted like it didn't want me to do that, so I'm a little surprised. Come on, just up. Up is the direction you want to go, please. The heck am I supposed to jump to? Okay. That should be good enough. Almost there. Alright, there's not much tower left, so I think we're just about to the top. The thing is, what direction am I gonna go unless they knock me off this platform? Okay, fair enough. You're so close. Hurry up. No clue how that guy actually got there, but
See you, Lara. We'll do whatever we can to support you from here.
Thank you, Sophia. I'll take whatever help I can.
Ouch! God, that hurt.
Let's finish this!
I'm playing really poorly in the past like half hour or so.
Lara, you have to get to cover. We're about to fire, and you're out in the open. I can't stay.
I 100% squandered that. Is what it is. Just you and who? Are you kidding me? I hate fighting these guys. Good triple kill. Let's go.
Thank you, Sophia. Hell of a shot.
Point of no return. All right. Oh, they said it, not me. Also got 4 skill points, which is kind of wild. It's more arrows, I think a bigger rucksack would be the best thing. Do that. I don't even know what to upgrade, to be honest. I'll keep one. Why not? Honestly, I don't know which way I'm supposed to go. I guess left. My last boss, a helicopter.
You must not be allowed into the Chamber of Souls.
Constantine.
I don't think you'll be able to hit him! We'll keep trying. We're reloading the trebuchet. Hold on! The helicopter is too fast. We'll never be able to hit him.
Wait! I have an idea. If I shoot the fiber when it's near the chopper, the blast might hit it.
I hope you're right. Give us the signal. We'll be ready.
I'm ready!
You son of a bitch.
Send in a squad, now. I want her dead.
Okay. Now, where are these people that want me dead, allegedly? Okay, I guess they're right here. Oh, wait. I was not ready to fight these people right here. I'll get high ground. Oh, this is gonna be a pain. I can already tell. Gotta love the final boss, right? I don't really know which ones I should go after. Probably both.
There she is.
Are you kidding me? Triggering the cutscene while I'm freaking fighting a dude, and then allowing me to take damage from it?
We have to reset the counterweight. We'll be ready soon. Okay, we're ready. On your signal. All right, here goes.
Rule of 3, right? One more hit. One more hit.
It's over.
Find somewhere to go. It doesn't involve me getting murdered. Oh, nobody wanted to follow me freaking down here? Where all the explosives are? Are you kidding me? Gotta love final boss encounters. Why can't I pick up? Okay. That was literally making no sense. I wasn't even weak. I'm just gonna circle this bottom area. Ouch. Or not. I don't even know what killed me. Alright. So the bomb's not working out great, not gonna lie. Thing that's also screwing me over right now is I'm kind of low on ammo. I hate this fight. Thank you.
We have to reset the counterweight. We'll be ready soon.
Soon isn't good enough. Oh no! I didn't think that I'd need to reload. Jesus.
Give us time, Lara. We're reloading.
This is definitely the last shot, though. I can already tell. And if I stand right here, I'm good. Come on.
We're ready when you are, Lara. Just give us the signal.
There's still more. Who else? Okay, find an exit. Thank you. They should have just ended it with a boss fight. Did he take all of my weapons?
No allies! No hope! This place will become your tomb! Come fight me! No! My destiny lies in the Chamber of Souls. I've come too close to be stopped now. Look here! I have
Oh, I didn't think I'd have to do a follow-up. Misread that. Misread that. That it? Literally messed up the last cutscene of the game. Okay.
It's not my destiny. I was meant for greatness.
No, you were meant to die.
Your destiny. Your sister let you believe that.
I did all of this for her. Don't you walk away from me. Wait! Trinity killed your father!
No, you're lying. You're not worth it.
Begged for yours. He was a pathetic man. I pitied him. I like to think his last thoughts were of you, Lara. Of how he drove you away. How he had failed you. He would have held you back. You!
Don't have to worry about him. So there's still mom. Stepmom in my case. She should probably be right behind these doors if I had to guess.
Anna! Stop! Your men are defeated. Your brother is dead. No! That's what Trinity has wrought. Death. And that's all they'll ever bring. Give this up.
I gave up everything for this. I have no intention of giving it to Trinity.
What about your father? You're dooming him to be mocked by history. How can you let this go? When you're so close?
I'm willing to make that sacrifice. I can't let you take it.
Think of the millions suffering and dying. We can save them. We can change the world. Together.
The cost is too high, Anna. We aren't meant to live forever. Death is a part of life.
That's easy for you to say. You're not the one who's dying.
But this isn't about you. This is about humanity, about protecting what it means to be human.
They're coming! We're surrounded!
Knew that was gonna happen.
Jacob, look out!
The source is not meant for the world.
This is your chance, Lara. Everything I've done, everything you've done. Another Croft doesn't have to die for this.
But I'm willing to.
And two, you're not a Croft, so if you die, eh.
Well, I'm not. Please, I'm dying. This is my only hope.
Laura's about to come in with a mercy kill. What? What are you gonna do with that, Laura? You just gonna break it?
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Jacob, hold on.
I've held on for too long already.
You knew I'd destroy it.
In all my years, I've met few as extraordinary as you. It's finally happening.
It's finally happening. Ugh.
My ending.
I'm sorry. All I wanted was to make a difference.
You already have. You already have.
My dearest Lara, I often think about how my father would turn over in his grave if he knew the shame I had brought upon our family's name. Croft, what does it even mean? I just hope you can make your own mark on this world someday. Remember that the extraordinary is in what we do, not who we are.
Destroying the source was the right thing to do.
I still feel like I let him down.
I think you would have made the same choice. Come on. You've got a plane to catch.
I listened to his last tape 1,000 times, but it's as if I was hearing my father's words only now, for the first time. It doesn't matter what choices he would have made. I have to make my own. The myth of Katesh was real. There are secrets out there that can change the world. I need to find them, not for my father, not for anyone else. Trinity is still out there, and they're more powerful than I ever imagined. I can stop them. I can make a difference. I can make the right difference.
Ultimate Survivor. Interesting. Finish the game on Survivor. I guess I didn't play on Survivor last time.
Anna. You said another Croft doesn't have to die for this. What did you mean by that? You killed my father, didn't you?
Well, that was obvious.
Trinity ordered his execution. I couldn't do it. You're lying! I loved it. No!
It's done.
Good.
What about Croft?
No. Not yet.
You know, she ruined literally every single plan we had, but even though you have a perfect, chance to kill her right now, hold it. Don't do it. No credits? Feels a little weird not having credits at the end of a game by default, but at the same time, I've seen credits for this game before. This is my second time beating it. Murdoch, we just finished the game. We literally just finished the game. Like, literally, as you were, typing that message, the last cutscene finished. I kid you not, literally less than 30 seconds. Like 15 seconds after you said that text. It's over. It's over. We're done here. We're done here. Well, I hope you're doing well. Now, if you ever have a, inclination to ever play this game, you don't know the ending. You lucked out. So, let's see who's streaming. I'm pretty sure I'm going to just rate Stars because she's doing her, 1 year thing. I feel a little bad not being there, being her mod and all, but I kind of had a deadline to finish this game today, so it is what it is. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and rate Stars. For our raid message this time, we are going to do this. If you got that emote, you got that emote. If not, you can just say happy belated birthday. Anyway, we're going to raid Lady Stars. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will be technically streaming tomorrow on my other, or I guess the podcast Twitch channel, Miss Checkpoints. If you're not following Miss Checkpoints, go ahead and do that. We'll be doing a podcast episode for this very game that we finished tonight. Friday night, I will probably be back playing Dark Souls because I can't get too rusty at that game. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you, Murdoch, for chatting with me, keeping me company. I do appreciate it. Anyway, I will see you guys soon.